Thank you very much, Tommy, and good afternoon to the listeners.
So, as executive head of Agribusiness, how significant is the wine industry to Standard Bank's agricultural portfolio? And perhaps while you at that, what role does supporting premium wine production play in South Africa's broader export strategy?
Thanks, Tommy. The wine industry is obviously very important to Standard Bank within our agricultural portfolio. And as a spin-off of that, we are continuing our support of the Chenin Blanc Top 3 Awards. South African wine exports has always featured as one of the top 10 commodities contributing to agricultural exports. And within that, the premium wine production is, of course, vital as it allows South Africa to defend its production share, which is just around 4% of the world's wine production.
I wonder what it is that made you, as Standard Bank, to choose to partner with the Chenin Blanc Association. Why them specifically?
Well, I think Chenin Blanc, of course, being unique to South Africa, and South Africa being part of our home. And at Standard Bank, we believe Africa is a home we drive our growth. It's been now since 2014 that we've been involved. And besides supporting the Chenin Blanc Association, I think there's also a strategic alignment with global demand expanding within the wine industry, specifically into parts of the country, parts of the world such as China. We, of course, through our ICBC ICBC shareholding in Standard Bank, it plays a very important part in our broader strategy. And as part of that, we've been involved also with the Chenin Blanc Association and Wine of South Africa, taking wine producers to China to expose South Africa's finest onto the global stage.
And just on the back of that, it's worth noting that South Africa does dominate the global Chenin Blanc production with 52% of the world plantings. So how do you, as Standard Bank, see this competitive advantage translating into economic opportunities that will benefit the broader agricultural sector?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a unique product that sets us apart on the global stage. And I think South Africa has manifested itself as a preferred global supplier of Chenin Blanc, and we need to continue our growth and our focus on this particular subsegment to ensure that we maximize the great fruit quality that we have. This year again, the high quality harvest is set to further strengthen South Africa's position as a top global supplier, and that aligns with the global rise for sustainably produced premium wines.
I'm quite interested to find out what it is that informed your decision with the structuring of the prize money. You've put in place mandatory requirements for farm work upliftment, and this is rather than traditional cash prizes, which one would expect. Why was that important for you to have that caveat?
Well, I think it was important for us as part of our broader social responsibility as well, to structure the prizes around farm worker upliftment rather than simply just cash prizes. I think we prioritize social responsibility and sustainable community development, and structuring it in this way has supported us in ensuring that the recognition translates into real long-term impact. Spinning off from that, we see improvement in education and health and livelihoods for the workers who make success of the wine industry possible. So it's our way of looking more broadly at the segment than just purely the great wines that we produced. And we're proud that over time, through these initiatives, there's been significant donations towards education, youth development, and healthcare projects as a spin-off.
I'd like you to perhaps just jog your memory for us for a while. You've mentioned that this partnership has been running for a good 12 years now. So you've had over a decade to actually see the fruit of your labor. Could you maybe highlight for us some of the successes and some of the developmental strides that have been made over the past decade due to this partnership?
Yeah, I think to describe everything just to the partnership would perhaps not be accurate. But I think we've seen, if you just take South African exports in holistic South African exports, we've seen significant growth in the exports of South African agricultural products, of which wine has, of course, played a part. And I think, in an economy that has shown, muted growth, we are very proud within the agricultural sector that involvement through programs such as this and others, and cooperation between various role players and stakeholders within our sector continues to see the agricultural sector being a significant contributor to growth in South African exports, but also growth in our local economies.
Some of the challenges that are being faced, and I think it's many countries around the world as far as exports to the United States are concerned, but South Africa specifically with agriculture is a country that stands to lose quite significantly within that sector. And we've seen the Minister of Agriculture, John Steenhuisen, being very much at the forefront when it comes to discussions around the tariffs and the trade deals with the United States. Could you tell us how you as Standbank are helping your clients navigate the challenges that are currently being faced within the agricultural sector? Because it is a bit of an unstable sector right now, considering all the moving parts and the changes that are taking place on a global platform.
Sure. Yes. I think the first thing you mentioned it there is that South Africa is not unique in this respect. And the other part to remember is that I think there's been, of course, a lot of noise around the tariffs from the USA, but to keep in context that only about 4% of South Africa's agricultural exports are to the United States, and within that, it's quite concentrated within specific produce. Wine being part of that, but also mostly in the citrus and the nut space. So when you break that down, it's very important, and we've done that to be aligned to our clients that we know are exposed, and to plan with them in terms of scenario planning for opportunities to potentially explore other markets. The issue, of course, has been that there's been quite a bit of uncertainty as to when some of these tariffs would be in effect. We recently got the 30% coming into play, but before that there was some uncertainty. And even now, I think Minister Steenhuisen and Minister Tau, of course, both on record as saying that an improved offer in terms of our trade proposal to the states have been put out. So I don't think it's the end of this chapter. In amongst all of that, I think at Standard Bank we pride ourselves in being steadfast with our clients to assist them to both deal with challenges and also maximize opportunities. And as part of that, we're working closely with those clients that do have exposure and that have concentrated exposure, especially to the States. Luckily, those are limited numbers, and we're working with those clients to look forward to see which alternatives could be explored or which contingency plans can be set afoot.
Brendan Jacobs, we thank you so much for your insight this afternoon. Very much appreciated, sir.
Thank you, Thami.
Have a great one. Thank you. That's Brendan Jacobs. He's head of Agribusiness, Business and Commercial Banking at Standbank. He brings us to exactly 4:59. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour.